This episode of the Gamerheads Podcast is brought to you by Seven Bridges Premium Gourmet Yum Yum Sauce. Enhance every bite with our savory blends of flavors, perfect for meats, vegetables, and crispy treats. Whether you're dipping, drizzling, marinating, grilling, roasting, or snacking, Seven Bridges Yum Yum Sauce takes your culinary experience to the next level. Get yours today and make every meal a gourmet delight.
Hi, I'm Celia Schilling from Yacht Club Games.
Hey, this is James from Mega Cat Studios.
Hey folks, this is Matt, aka Stormageddon from Reignite and the Fun and Games podcast.
This is Stephanie from the Boss Rush podcast and the Boss Rush Network.
Hey, this is Mark and Keon from Bonte Avond.
Hey, this is Sebastian with the ProNerdReport.com and the Single Player Experience podcast.
Hi, this is Chris.
Mike.
And Garrett from Daylight Basement Studio.
Hey, this is Baron J67 from Level 1 Gaming.
Hi, I'm Jacob McCourt from the Left Behind Game Club, Crossplay Conversations, and Video Game Trivia.
Hey, this is Todd Mitchell from Code Right Play.
Salutations, this is Mike Carroll from Stroll Art.
Hey, this is Jeff Moonen from Fun and Games Podcast.
What's good, y'all? This is Adam from Respawn Aimfire.
Hey, this is Patrick from the Backlog Odyssey.
Hey, this is Rune from Runic Codes.
Hi, this is Andrew from Spalato Bros.
Hi, everyone. Jill Grote here from the Indie Informer.
Hello, this is the Crypt Master, and you're listening to Roger you're listening to Roger on the Gamerheads Podcast.
And welcome to another episode of the Gamerheads Podcast. My name is Roger. Along with me is a good friend of mine. I call you a good friend. He is the co-host of the Crossplay Conversations podcast and the host of the Video Game Trivia, Jacob McCourt.
Hi, Roger. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm so glad that you're able to join me on this.
Yeah, this is going to be a lovely chat about video game summer. I'm so excited to talk about video games with you.
I am too. I have been listening to your podcast, the Crossplay. I also listened to Left Behind Games podcast too, but I listened to one of your most recent episodes of the Crossplay Conversation podcast, and you all do such a fantastic job over there. Because you do a really great job of deep dive into games and talking about games, but not like to the point where you're overstay your welcome. Does it make sense? Like you're able.
No,
like your
I'm
beats
totally.
Are really
good. It's funny, when I was in radio school, I had a teacher, shout out to Paul Cross, I guess. And Paul, actually two of my teachers said two separate things, and I think it affected the content that I make forever, where Paul would say, drop the puck. Is when he would listen to things on the radio and hear about things that were not relevant, he would just get really mad. Yes. And then I had another teacher, Dean, where Dean said, no one cares about your life, which I think that's a little harsh, but I think you'll see in my content, we kind of drop the puck and we get into it and we try. I think any podcast that's longer than 70 or 80 minutes has to be real special. And so you'll see that most of the content I do is under 80 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I even get tired. I'm getting old, Roger, and going for a 90-minute podcast, I just can't do it. I know.
Agreed. I agree. I'm also old and I can't do it anymore. The other thing I'm going to call out too is your shorts. You have been doing, these video shorts and they're really fun. They are so fun. I love the ones where you rank games. I think you did one recently or somewhat recently of the Game Award winners, and you had to rank them, and they're blind ranks, and they're just so fun. Ranks. They're so fun.
And so, Roger, first off, you're going to have to do one soon. So you're up. I've got two in the hopper, so you're going to be up next. So look for that.
Okay.
But yeah, like you with the morning grind, if you folks who are listening to this haven't watched the morning grind, please do that. But it's just. You can get it out there. You can have an idea. You can spend 45 minutes on it. You can show your expertise. You can flex, but then actually get something out and be done with it. And so that's what I love about shorts is that instant gratification of instead of putting out a podcast or a long piece of writing, you put it out, you get the dopamine, you have a little joy, and then you move on with your day.
Yeah. Yeah. I love you're knocking it out of the park. That's what I'm just saying. And one last thing I'll say before we jump into our topic, one thing that I have come to not only love you as a brother, because I do, but, I respect and just in awe of your ability to do video game trivia. That still blows my mind. Every time I see you do it, it's like the greatest thing I've ever seen because you're so good at it. You're so good.
Thank you. Sometimes I even watch it, and because I don't know if you're the same way when you're speaking in front of people, but I kind of black out to a certain degree.
Yes.
Where like I'm living it and experiencing it.
It's like almost out of body experience almost.
Yeah. And I know that I like what I'm doing, but I'm kind of just like operating. And so sometimes I look back and of course I remember the major beats, but there's micro things that happen that I just forgot that it happened. And somebody says, oh, do you remember when somebody said this and then you said that in return and it happened really fast? And I was like, I guess I'll watch the tape because no. So thank you. So hopefully we'll get to keep doing it at PAX's. If you want to see that, it'll be in my YouTube channel, but hopefully you'll see it wink at future PAX's.
Yeah. My favorite is when you've done this before. You go between English and French. That is amazing. I was just like,
yeah, it has happened more than once. And so, I've been a French speaker for life. And I think, because I live on the border, a lot of folks just assume I'm American. But these days, especially, I'm making sure to signal that I'm not as much as possible. So the French is part of that.
Yeah, I love that. You're just an amazing. You're an amazing person, but also just an amazing host and an amazing person in the industry. So I'm so glad that you're able to join me and talk about the games at Summer Game Fest that were announced. And it's not just the event of Summer Game Fest. We're talking about all the games wrapped around this last weekend. So I asked for 3 games and topics around those games. So we'll just go back and forth and talk about what our picks were. So Jacob, I'll start with you. And the first question that I have here for you, or the first one that I brought up here, is what was the biggest reveal for you over the Summer Game Fest weekend and why?
So this was actually tough. And out of everything that you had, the 3 questions that we're going through, this was the one that took me a little while to come to because I wanted something that was like big and made me feel, and I was surprised that hadn't really been talked about before. So I think when I think of the big AAA game that got me the most excited, weirdly, Wolverine was that for the weekend. That's not my answer, but because we saw an extended bit of gameplay, and that's the one where I went, oh, I guess I need to play Insomniac's next game as soon as it comes out. So that was kind of the answer I almost went with, but I was like, the key word here is reveal. And so because it hadn't been shown before and it kicked off the show and it was something that for a long time I didn't quite know what it was. Resident Evil Veronica was my answer here. Yeah. I've not played Code Veronica ever. I have not engaged with like anything before 2 really. So the original Code Veronica 0. And so I'd love to get into that eventually. And I've got Requiem here to play that I intend to play this year. And so if Veronica is anything like my time with 7, if it has the vibes of 2 or 4 or 9, then I'm sure I'm going to love it. And I forget the exact setting, but was it France for
it was
Veronica?
France, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So obviously I've got a bit of a connection there. So Veronica's the answer. I thought it was actually OD for a little while. I was looking at it and said, is this freaking Kojima? Is this OD? But it was Veronica.
Yeah. No, it's funny that you say that because for me, well, I am older than you. We're gonna like
what?
I know. I think I'm like the oldest out of all of our friends. I think I'm the oldest, like by quite a bit actually.
Young soul,
old body. My experience with Resident Evil is much different because I did play the very first game because I had the PlayStation when it came out. I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to play this game," and stupidly, I was like, I'm going to turn off all the lights. I'm going to play this game in the dark because it's going to add to it. So why did I decide to do that? I think that was the moment that I realized, oh, I don't like horror games because I screamed at that game. So I played 1 and 2. And then after that, I stopped playing Resident Evil games because they were just too, compared now, they're much scarier now, but they were pretty scary, being a teenager growing up. So, I'm interested. We'll have to have you on the show if you play the game. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Codename Veronica.
I'm shocked it's coming so soon And also Capcom just continues to be on this 7-year, 8-year run of making games people like, seemingly not being sleazy in the business. And it's something that we don't talk. I feel we almost don't talk about it enough, how Capcom has had this legendary run that 10 years from now, if it stops, hopefully it doesn't, we'll look back and say, God, do you remember Capcom from like 2015 to 2026? Incredible run they're having.
Yeah, there is one podcast that has been talking about that. It's your podcast.
What podcast is that? Oh yeah, hey, because I'm on it and I'm screaming about Capcom. Yes.
Oh, that's funny. No, I agree.
Roger, I was surprised. I was surprised to see yours, because when I saw yours, I had to look into it, and then I realized why it is yours.
Oh, you did?
Because I didn't realize what it was connected to until I did the research.
Okay, so I'm going to say the game, and then you tell me why you think it connects well with me, because I'd be interested, because I want to know what your take is on my taste of games, because we've seen each other quite a few times at PAX now, so you know my taste of games. It's Crossfire. Crossfire?
Yep.
Crossfire. What did I ask? Like a question. It's Crossfire.
Crossfire.
It's Crossfire.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think I am interested in this game?
I truly think it's just like a story about two opposing folks that have to work together, and also the third person shooting looked great. I didn't realize. Well, also maybe there's a Star Wars reference in the name of the developer.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Star Wars. But I didn't realize it's connected to like Smilegate's Crossfire.
Oh, I forgot about that actually.
Yeah. I think that there's a connection there somehow.
I think so too. I think you're right. No, but you're right about the first two things. I like this idea of these two protagonists. You only play one of them, but they don't get along, and they have to get along to survive. And they have very opposing philosophies on the world, and it's going to be an interesting game to see how they get along, but then also like how they compromise. Do they compromise? I don't know. Like we'll see, right? And then the third person shooter. Like I like third person shooters. I do too. First person shooters very much.
I would take a third over a first every time.
Yeah. So, and there's some cool stuff that they're doing with the cover mechanics that's like adaptive. And I thought that looked so cool. And I was like, I really want to play this game. On top of it, it's a cool story. Like it's a narrative driven shooter game that feels like a multiplayer shooter game, but it's not. It's a single player game. I think that's cool.
I was hanging out with the Left Behind Game Club crew because we're all local, and so I was with Katie, Travis, and Alex from that show, and we were talking about that adaptive cover system. In that Last of Us Part 2, I feel doesn't get enough credit for the adaptive cover system because it wasn't the big thing in that game. And that's what the cover mechanic reminded me of here.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. Right. Like it's a cool mechanic, but because there's other things that people talk about with the game, this game seems to be like, that's one of their talking points. That's one of the focal points that they're focusing on. So very cool. All right. So my next question I have here for you then is your personal favorite. It's a game that you can't wait to play. What is your pick?
So I am a huge fan of Citizen Sleeper 1 and 2. I think I've recently made a list of some of my favorite games of all time. And I think Citizen Sleeper 1 is like a top 5 of all time game for me. And so I am seeking out more experiences like that. And so I played Duskpunk that came out this year, which is a sort of steampunk version of Citizen Sleeper, good writing, city map. And so when I saw Red Kiss in, I think the Story Rich showcase or the PC Gaming showcase, I forget exactly which one. Roger, there were so many showcases.
Yeah,
but this looked like vampire Cold War Citizen Sleeper, and I was in.
Yeah.
And even at the title card, they were calling out, because it's being published by Fellow Traveler. And so, when that card hits, it says, Fellow Traveler, the publishers of Citizen Sleeper series and The Pale Beyond. The dev is Wispfire, who's only really done one game before called Herald, the Interactive Period Drama. But if they've got the chops and have made that, and then they're building it in the mold of a CRPG in the style of Citizen Sleeper, I'm so freaking in. So this was a huge surprise and a personal favorite. And I almost picked Gareth Damian Martin's new game that got announced during PC gaming show, but I decided to hit you with Recused because it looked rad.
Yeah, there's so many shows. There's so many shows and so many showcases. I missed this one, so I need to go back because I also love those games. In fact, Duskpunk, I think it was you that I must have picked it up from because since you're talking about it right now, like I went out and wishlisted. I just remember somebody was talking about, I think it was you. And I was like, oh, this is right up my alley. In this game, like seems to be right up my alley too. Like I'm really excited for this game. But there's so many showcases. There are. And how many did you watch? Because I feel like I actually I tried to watch most of them. Yeah, same. Some of them I had to just kind of what was announced, like, oh, okay, now I had to go back and watch this because these are games I haven't heard of. Some of them I'm like, okay, I know this game. Like I've seen or heard this game before, but there's a lot of hours of watching. That's for sure, which is cool. Like I'm not complaining. Yep. As players, we are eating really well, but as like journalists, holy heck, we're super busy.
Yeah. So sometimes I'll have people on Blue Sky just post like why, cause I think it was Wesley LeBlanc from Game Informer who had said, why is no one covering Slayblade? Which I'm not sure you saw this one. This is the Beyblade inspired indie game that's coming. And I looked at it and went, please watch the trailer for Slayblade because I say those words and it's exactly what I'm describing. Yeah. But he said, why isn't anyone covering this? And I just went, I've been putting out stuff. You've been putting out stuff. There's just not enough time. Yeah. And so I'm glad that there's so many showcases so everyone gets their place. I think everyone in the industry is doing as well as they can, but there's just going to be stuff that flies under the radar. It's just the nature of it.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that I really love about our industry right now. Is that there's a game for everyone out there, right? Like no matter what your tastes are, because I don't think that was always the case in our industry, especially early on in the industry. And now because, and again, it's the diversity, right? Like if you have diversity in your industry making games, you're going to have diverse games coming out, which then opens the door for many different people to try different games and have something to their liking, right? Like I'll have people that I know that are like, oh, I don't really play games. And I'm like, play this game and you will like it. And they're like, oh, I wish I didn't realize I like video games. I'm like, yeah, it's because the people still have this mindset of like video games are Pac-Man or whatever, Mario Brothers or whatever the case is. Like, no, there's so much more out there that diversity is important. And so honestly, I don't know why anybody wouldn't want that because that's what makes money.
Yeah. Games can be interactive fiction. They can be an escape room. Yeah. They can be a movie. They can be, I just played Mixtape and I just finished it this morning. And again, that is a game that, although didn't necessarily click with me, undeniable presentation. And it's a game that if I have non-game friends who are like, hey, what's the new hotness? And I go, well, imagine if it's a coming of age story. It's like a John Hughes movie coming of age story with a phenomenal soundtrack. I know that will get some people, and that's something we wouldn't have gotten 10 years ago. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fun. I'm also playing that game. I grew up during that time, and I didn't listen to a lot of the music that they listened to, and I was like, oh, really? My taste was so different. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think there was one song that I knew out of the 27 or 28 track soundtrack. Yeah, well, a lot of the songs are like 70s songs too, right? So like, I listened to a lot of 70s music because my parents like for better or worse forced their music upon me, right? And like I know bands like Bread, like I would never have heard of that band except for my parents, right? So there's a lot of songs. There's some songs I'm like, oh yeah, I know that song. And some of them like, oh, I've never heard this song before, but I like it. It's just an interesting thing. My pick for this category is Fields of Mystria. So I have been playing it in early access.
But I am really looking forward to the 1.0 version, which comes out in August, because it includes things like marriage and having kids. And I don't know why, but for whatever, like I have kids and I'm married, like this, like I live that in real life, but I love this. And this is the thing. My wife and I both love these types of games where you it's part farming, part adventure. And then, doing both of those things, it's up to you how you want to do it. Like we both love Stardew Valley. We both loved Fae Farm. And this looks right up in that genre of games that we enjoy playing. So yeah, really.
It's pretty feature complete, even in early access, right? So
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna have a killer 1.0, I think.
Yes. That's the thing. Like they're including the marriage piece and the children piece, which I think is like a big ask from the audience if they've always wanted. And I know that was on their radar. That was something that was on the roadmap. And now we're finally getting that with 1.0. And I think people are going to be super stoked about this game. So yeah, I need to find time to play more of it. That's the thing with me. So
I've been very curious about it. I just have not played Stardew. One of my partner's favorite games is Stardew. And I just, because I know I'd have to carve out, like that's 50 hours plus, right? To play Stardew.
Yeah.
And arguably, could I sit on Steam Deck and, poke around and play 20 minutes a day? Sure.
Yeah.
But Roger, there's too many video games. There's not enough time.
I know.
But I'm excited for Fields of Mystery because it looks good. It looks great.
It looks great.
Even
and like
today.
you said, early access, it plays really well. Like I'm super excited for the 1.0. The last game then, or last category, I should say, is I asked the question, your hidden gem, one game that might be a sleeper that shouldn't be. And what was your pick there, Jacob?
Yeah, so I saw Ithaca in I believe it was Day of the Devs. It might have been, Roger, again, there are so many showcases. Day of the Devs.
I think it was Day of the Devs, yeah.
And so this one is a game about climate change where you're driving around. There's a hostage in your trunk. You have to like look at clues inside of your vehicle around sort of the mystery. You get calls, you get texts. It comes from the Pixel Hunt. The Pixel Hunt did Bury Me My Love, which I believe was a game about Syrian refugees, but it was all told through text messages.
Yeah.
And then also they put out last year's Wednesdays, which I think is a criminally underrated game with very serious subject matter. You can look up what Wednesday is about. I won't say it here. But those games just show how masterful they are at storytelling. And so Ithaca, having, as a road trip RPG, is something that is wildly appealing to me. So I don't usually kickstart games. I have been burned in the past, but I feel like I've started to now get back into it, and I backed this one in a second. And so if you're curious, Ithaca was in Day of the Devs. As of recording, they have 27 days left in their Kickstarter, and they are about let's say 35% to their goal. So watch the trailer. If it's interesting, they could use your help on the Kickstarter front.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. This game looks interesting. And yeah, I mean, I saw it and it appealed to me, but after you talking through it and like why it appeals to you, it triggers a little bit more. Like it makes me more interested in the game. So
did you play NeoCab back in the day?
I have it in my backlog, Jacob. I have it in my backlog.
Okay. It gave me big NeoCab vibes. Okay. Speaking of like Fellow Traveler and games they published, that's another Fellow Traveler published game. If you want a game that feels similar, I feel like it was a big iPhone or iPad game because whenever I see this, I think of NeoCab. Whenever I see NeoCab, I think of Apple Arcade. But this is a game that if you want something similar, different settings, this is NeoCab is more of a cyberpunk thing. NeoCab is like $3 right now. So there's a reco. There's a bonus reco for folks.
There you go. That's a good pick. For me, my hidden gem is a game that it should do well. Like, but I hope that people like check this out. And as Prove You're Human, that was part of the Day of the Devs. We've seen it before, but they showed it again. So this is a game that was that is created by the developers that did 1000 Resist, so that is the Sunset Visitor is the name of the developer, and then it's published by
Vancouver-based studio. Shout out to Canada.
Oh yeah, that's right. And Black Tabby Games are publishing it. I think this is the first game that they're publishing. Am I?
Yes.
Yeah. So they're famous for Slay the Princess, that they developed. So this is cool that they're getting into the publishing side of things. So this game, you are, playing as a person that's convincing AI that they're not human. They're not human. And what a fascinating thing. And the game looks so like a mix of like this AI kind of generated, not that they used AI generation, right? I'm not saying that, but it has this like AI worlds, like, right? Like robotic and just like created to make it look like AI created this world, like a world that AI lives in, right? And then there's like real life videos of like somebody that's out there, and is it AI that's taking over that body? And then what? And this being is like, once people take for granted their bodies, I won't be taking for granted when I get my body. And I'm like, oh my God, this sounds so scary, right? Like, but it's cool. Like, what a cool concept.
Yeah.
And in a world where AI is really creeping in everywhere, like you feel like you're being surrounded by it. Like, what a fascinating game. Maybe that plays into why I'm super excited for this game too, because I think art reflects life, right? And maybe there's a little bit more of that in there or maybe I'm hopeful. It seems like that is, but maybe I'm hopeful also. Like, I'm sure I'm going to see things in there that, because of my experiences, I'll see in that game as well. Like, this is really very, very good. Like, I'm really excited for this game.
It looks deeply unsettling that, AI face that is hanging. It reminded me a lot of Portal in that there was this giant head just hanging out in a lab, but you were having conversations. The I want a body piece of it, I don't know if that had been shared before, but that was the piece where I'm like, oh. And even the Fake OS stuff that's in there, because lately I've been really getting into Fake OS stuff. And so to have, CAPTCHAs be a main mechanic seemingly, I'm just everything here. I'm fully in. This is a day one for me. I don't need to see any more. I just give me the video game.
Same. And I put that as a hidden gem because I think, because again, so many games that there are coming out, right? I worry always that a game like this that's so unique and so different and so like artistic gets buried. And that's always my concern, right? Like I think that amongst some of us journalists, like it will be well received, but like the general public, I want them to be aware of this game too. That's why I put it as a hidden gem, because even 1000
I
Resist.
actually was looking online and I was like, was this nominated for a Game Award? And I don't think it was.
Okay.
But it's the first video game ever to get a Peabody. And so that kind of shows you the spaces that it occupies.
Yes. Yeah, because 1000 Resist, a lot of people have talked about it, but I still think there's a lot of people that haven't played it, right? And people that played it are like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. This looks just as good.
It's a wonderful game. And so if people haven't played 1000 Times Resist and they're hearing this conversation about, I always get the game Prove You're Human, because I always want to go to No, I'm Not a Human, the game that just came out about weird people snatching bodies. Prove You're Human. If this seems interesting, go and play Sunset Visitor's first game, 1000 Times Resist, because it's great.
Yeah, I keep forgetting the times. 1000 Times Resist.
I always thought it was 1000X for a long time until people said, no, dummy, it's times.
Oh, I was just calling it thousands resist. No, 1000 Times Resist. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. So that wraps it up. I just wanted to catch up with you, first of all. Thank you for joining me, Jacob. Before we head out, why don't you tell people how they can follow you, where they can find you on social media, and listen to your shows and your content?
Yes, thank you again for having me, Roger. The very short pitch about me. I host a show, as you said, called Crossplay Conversations. You can find it on all podcast services around the globe. We essentially mostly talk about indie games, and we try and do it in a way that's, unpretentious and doesn't stick around for too long. So that's the show. You can find me on social, jacob.bsky.social on Blue Sky. And then if you want to follow along on my own morning grind of making short form video, you can find me at Jacob McCourt on everything, on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Yeah, I'll put the links in the show notes for all that.
Thank you.
Yeah. While you guys are not pretentious, we are very pretentious here at Gamerheads. So you can follow us on Blue Sky at gamerheadspodcast.com. You can check out our website at gamerheadspodcast.com. You can also go check out my morning grinds, where I have different topics to talk about every day. It might be something around video games that you should be checking out. It could be tips around how to be a good game master if you're into tabletop RPGs. It could be about my mental health journey. Who knows? It's whatever I have feeling going on that day. That's what I'm covering. So you can check that out on our YouTube channel. Jacob, thank you so much for joining me. I love having you on the show. I love seeing you in person. I won't see you at PAX West, which makes me very sad. But hopefully we can get together virtually, even if it's not in person, more often.
Roger, if we go to that Indian spot again, right near the convention center, and it's an Indian spot or is it a Thai spot? I forget.
It's an Indian place,
We'll be thinking of you in spirit. Me, you, Luke, me, Jill, Luke, Claire will have a bowl of Indian for you in your honor.
That. Thank you. I appreciate that. Listeners, make sure that you go out and give a like and subscribe to all the things that Jacob works on. It certainly deserves that. And then like and subscribe our stuff as well. Until next week, everyone stay safe and game on, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.